Oh, welcome to the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith. We are in the Bakersfield Speedway segment. I've got Scott Schweitzer in there here. How you doing, Scott?
Man, I was happy I was able to make it. I mean, find this place. I almost had to plug it into the GPS. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks because I had a little surgery on the right arm, a 2-4 there, and got kind of cut up and stitched up, and everything's good.
Usually I'm the guy that doesn't make it in.
Well, you know, and you realize how dominant you are. I'm so dominant right-handed. You go around for like this for 10 days and
I bet.
doing things, and then you get a little better with your left hand, but you're glad to have your right hand back.
Right.
So got to still be careful not to do things right-handed while I recover. But
Nice.
it's if I had a real job, I had to lift weights, anything heavy, I'd still be out.
You'd still be there.
Because I'm on a little weight restriction here, but good to go because I don't have a real job. I just sit around at a desk all day. So there you go. So you had some races out there on Saturday night. Was it season finales for anything?
It was. It was the 7th annual Racing for Wishes,
Right.
which is a fantastic event for us. It's a great night. It was a great night out there. Had a great crowd, great weather, a lot of racing. So they raised some money for our local Make-A-Wish kids. But yeah, we were able to crown the mini dwarfs. I'm trying to think. There was something else we crowned. Stock cars.
The IMCA
Stock car, yeah. And then
So,
in the next
I thought
2
you still have an IMCA stock car race, but it's not a points race, right?
No, we're actually done. They were going to run the Bud Nationals, but this year we're changing some stuff up, and now we're going to run the Mod Lights at the Bud Nationals and not the stock cars. So.
Okay. So we'll get on. We got some pictures from Tom here because there was the IMCA modifieds out there. And a pretty good field of cars as usual out there, and 2 wide here, and I think we got 3 wide. And Mr. Kyle Heckman shows up just because I guess Mr. Henderson wanted to run the car, got tired of sitting around. 3 wide shot there which is a testament to how good those cars run here. In the X car, I don't think on Wednesday that Heckman was planning to race, but he showed up on Saturday night and he came away with the win.
Yeah, Bill stopped by the racetrack on Thursday, and obviously with Make-A-Wish, Jeff Tilsher goes out and beats the pavement and gets some great sponsors involved. Like we had some new ones this year, and anyway, it was $1,500 to win. So Bill found that out, and it wasn't a redraw for the simple fact that we're only allowed with IMCA 2 a year. So it was a points race, and Kyle had an earned point average that would benefit him. And
where did he start?
Up pretty close. So,
pretty close to the front.
But you know what? He by far had the best car out there. You know, both the Bill Henderson racing cars were really looking good Saturday night, and they finished 1-2, and it was a good event for him.
And Steve Nolan and Robbie Sawyer comes in 4th. I think Robbie just had a big win, I think, on Friday night somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's chasing.
So he had that All-American Series or something, but there was a lot of heavy hitters in that. I mean, Hogue and a lot of Folger and everybody, and Sawyer won that race up there, so... Can't discount what he's been doing this year.
Right. He's been on the road chasing that All-Star modified.
Which is a testament to how good the racing here is in Bakersfield.
Right. And Ethan just got back from Boone, Iowa. So it was a good event. So, and then this weekend is their final race where we will crown a track champion this Saturday
night. Action
night.
This weekend. And you also had, the Sport Mods were there?
Yeah.
I think
we
so.
had
It was a busy night. You had a good field. We got Nick Spainhauer, their former track champion in the 40 car. Is it Brylan Holder?
That was actually Ricky Childress.
Ricky Childress jumped in that car.
Yeah,
that's right.
Shocked
I'm so
myself.
used to that.
Yeah, I was watching the race, calling the race, and in my corner, and I was really shocked that the 09 had the left front tire in the air and was marching through the field, and come to find out when it was all said and done, that was Ricky in there. But
he couldn't march through the field. He didn't catch this guy.
I know.
Garrett Jernigan, who's had a hot hand lately.
He is. He's got that car right where he wants it, and himself, and he's, peaking at the right time with the big money races coming up at the end of the year. So congratulations to Garrett. Made it 2 in a row. So he won the Mike Mosier Classic and now the Make-A-Wish Night. So
it's interesting you say peaking at the right time, and I think you watched drag racing once, and Robert Height was doing nothing all season long, came on strong, and now he wins the first race of the chase. Gary Jernigan, all of a sudden, the last 3-4 races, the tracks have been hot.
Yeah.
Getting it dialed in at the right time of the season is can't discount that.
No, not at all.
And a good run for Ricky Childress, who just is drives whatever he can drive these days. You never know where Ricky's going to show up and race. And Austin Kiefer there, strong run in 3X next Spain Howard, and Chris McKellar, last year's track champion, in 5th there. He had the mini stocks out there as well.
Yeah, another strong field of mini stocks. These guys have been bringing a full field every Saturday night, and it was another great race. I think they got one more race to go too before we crown a champion. And Steve Rourke in the 68S was able to get a win.
I think, is that his first win of the year? I have to look back. First or second win?
Yeah, I think it's his second one. I mean, we talked about this a little bit. He came out with a new car and got it crashed at the beginning of the year and struggled with some other cars. But Steve's always competitive, and it was good to see him. I mean, he was dominant Saturday night in that 68X. He just took off. And
it's funny. It's like somebody in the mini stocks finds it too, because, Misty Warren was really good early in the season and won a race and was up there. And she had a few problems with car troubles and this and that, but she's still in the top 5, but not quite
right
there anymore. Lonnie Spiller, who can run off a string of wins, and then it just sometimes the car is just not right for the track or whatever,
Absolutely.
or just things aren't working that well. So you don't really have that total dominance of race after race where you get Steve Rourke winning. David Wolford's been running well. And Lonnie in there in third, good finish for her. And Missy still got the points lead. She's finished fourth in that race. So, and like you said, good field for those.
Yeah,
stocks.
those mini stocks, you kind of worried about them at a certain time because they're pretty fragile cars. But man, they really been showing up at the back gate, and it's good to see. And it's been some great racing as well.
And probably if you want to get into racing, let us not use the word affordable for anything in racing, but probably a cost-efficient form of racing. Mini stocks isn't going to totally break the bank.
Probably the easiest on your pocketbook.
It's probably less to race a mini stock than to race a mini dwarf. Let's be honest.
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
So let's be honest here. So it's not a bad field if you just want to go out there, spend a little money, and have some fun.
Right. Absolutely.
So there you go. Familiar face there in Victory Lane in the IMCA stock.
Yeah, but they had the three brothers there. Stephen, Chad, and Tyler were really putting on a great battle. The top 3 spots, and it was a good race. And obviously, Stephen, no stranger to Victory Lane, was able to find his way there.
So when brothers are racing, do brothers have to be careful?
These 3 brothers don't. I mean, they put on a heck of a race. I mean, Chad and Tyler were battling out, and Stephen as well. And they really, you wouldn't know they were brothers by the way they were driving on the track. They put on a great show and battled back and forth and swapped it around.
Well, there you have it. It's a good win for Stephen Johnson.
And we ended up crowning Chad Johnson as our 2017
champion.
Yeah.
So keeping it in the family.
Yeah, it was good to see for Chad. I mean, I had said this as soon as Chad climbed in one of those cars, it wouldn't be long and he would be, track champion, because Chad really, does his homework and is no stranger to dirt track racing, and I'm glad to have him as a champion.
There you go. IMCA stocks, and it was a night for the youth out there as well. We had Tom's got quite a few shots from the mini drawer, so you can just run through those shots there, and we'll get to the last one, which he put his watermark on, and you see why, because he doesn't want anybody stealing this shot. There you go. And I just love it because he uses the flash, so you've got the light up there, the visor and the helmet and stuff, and it's like whoa. Yeah,
we had a little incident there with the 21H, but he kind of got up on his side, but everything was all right.
Everything's okay. These cars get over and they flipped and stuff, but there's been no serious injuries in mini dwarfs today.
Well, these little kids, I mean, they're not there to play around. They definitely race hard, and every position counts for them. And unfortunately, we have situations like that now and then.
Now and then, you got Jet Yantis with another win in the junior mini dwarfs. Corey Cotton, Ethan Johnson, Bryson Martin, and Paige Jones, and the champion.
Jet Yanis, I believe,
just came from behind to win that, because he had a disqualification for one race for not going to tech.
Right, yeah.
Not doing a tech, and so, but had enough stuff to get the championship. The senior mini dwarfs, Tyler Blankenship came around with the win, Jacob Carey, Kenny Cotton, Taylor Morrison, Austin Merchant. I did not check the points on that one either.
Jacob Carey is
what I figured,
is our
he had
senior
the
mini
points
dwarf.
lead.
Yeah.
So solid.
And I think he's a 3-time champion.
Solid season for Jacob, who that kid's a good points racer for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
he definitely.
Just solid, strong finishes week after week after week. You're going to see him generally in that top 3.
Absolutely. Good runner.
It's a good run for them. And then the first race, go back to that last photo real quick. Here we go, a new class, if we don't have enough classes for kids. and this is a class that Joey Yantis, I think, and some other people decided to come up with called Mini Mods. So real quickly, what type of engine is this? And
I
they're
believe
built
it's
to look like a modified.
It's a scaled down modified. It's got full suspension on it. Kind of looking for their idea was to try to find a place for these kids to go if they want to get out of mini dwarfs, but not jump into a mini stock or a mod light yet. This was the idea, and they're a well built car. We had 5 of them out there for the first time to shake them down and see how they go around the track and give the kids a chance to race them. I think it's a 16 horsepower Honda engine on it with an electric start and full suspension.
And that would be a 16 horsepower stock engine. But I mean, they do them 16 versus what's supposed to be if you buy the mini dwarf engine stock. I think it's a 6.5.
Yeah.
But there's certain things you can do to those, and they get the horsepower up, and who knows what they're baking. But basically more than double the power of and probably around the same weight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this division grows. I know they're talking about they got 10, 12 of them sold.
And you're looking for kids from 10 to 15, 16.
Yeah, I think at 16 you age out and you have to move on. So it's just a kind of a middle of the road.
Does it make it? What do you foresee for this?
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, you said it earlier. The cost of mini dwarfs and these things are pretty expensive. So I think it's going to be to a select group of parents. So I'm just not sure yet. But it's a well built car. And they performed good, and so we'll just have to see how it shakes down.
Okay, there, Tyler Blankenship with the win in the first race for those guys. And real quickly, we got to look at what's coming up here before we get out of here. You've got the winged sprints, the AMCA modifieds, sport mods, lightning sprints, who always put on a good show, and the hard tops, who have gotten really racy, and they are fun to watch.
Yeah, we got a busy weekend this weekend. We got this one and one more, and then our regular season is over.
And what time's racing start?
Gates open at 5, first race 7 p.m.
7 p.m. still for the rest of the season?
Yeah, well, the last 2 events will go at 7 p.m., and then we'll obviously adjust for the Bud
Nationals.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming in, Scott. I'm
Glad
glad you could find the place,
Yeah.
and I'm glad to be back. We'll be back with the Famosa Raceway segment in just a minute on the Baco Motorsports Power Hour.